Let us feel the presence of our Lord Jesus Christ through the DepEd Philippines prayer. All together, greatest of all teachers and giver of love, hope, faith, and wisdom, look upon your children, the learners, teachers, parents, guardian, and out-of-school youths and adults. We humbly ask for your mercy and forgiveness. Guide us to the right path. May our efforts be blessed with insights and understanding, wisdom and respect for all. Bless us with the patience, for the path of learning is never easy. Bless our commitment to keep on learning new knowledge and experiences. Let your light shine upon us as we make our world a better place to live in. Amen.
Last week we discussed Order 4 Module. Determine the worth of text ideas mentioned in the text listened to. The discussion reinforces the value of identifying topic, main idea, and supporting details in reading. And in doing so, it enhances further other reading skills such as summarizing, sequencing events, and more. At the end of the discussion, you were asked to answer all your tasks in your Module 3.
Before we check your tasks in your Module 3, let us first recap what we have discussed last week through the video clip from the YouTube video of Ma'am Mela Maestra.
Do you have a favorite song? How did it become your favorite? Maybe because you love the rhythm, or you were touched by the lyrics. If you find two reasons applicable, then you're a great listener. We hear sounds around us, and it's always our choice to pay attention or to just let them pass over ears. For you students to be able to acquire a second language, you must listen attentively for you to learn. That's why it's very important for you to develop good listening skills. Now, let us differentiate hearing and listening. Hearing is an accidental and automatic brain response to sound that requires no effort. It refers to our ability to perceive noise and sounds. It is easy, for it is accidental and automatic, and passive, as it is involuntary and effortless. It has the physical function because it involves the ears. For example, we are familiar to the sounds of sirens in the ambulance, the laughter of our friends, the rattling of pots and pans in our kitchen, and so on. We hear those incidental sounds and we train ourselves to ignore them unless we have a reason to do otherwise. On the other hand, we have listening. It is purposeful and focused rather than accidental. It requires motivation and effort. It is active, focused, concentrated attention for the purpose of understanding the meanings expressed by a speaker. It is hard, for it requires practice and being alert. It is active because it involves conscious effort and it requires focused involvement. It also has internal behavior factors as it involves mind and the body. Therefore, hearing is accidental, involuntary, and effortless, while listening is focused, voluntary, and intentional. Now, why do we listen? Number one, to specifically focus on the messages being communicated, avoiding distractions and preconceptions. We also listen to gain a full and accurate diving into the speaker's point of view and ideas. Another reason is to critically assess what is being said. The fourth one, we listen to observe the nonverbal signals accompanying what is being said to enhance understanding. We also listen to show interest, concern, and concentration. Also, to encourage the speaker to communicate fully, openly, and honestly. Number 7, through listening, we develop selflessness approach for putting the speaker first. We also need to listen to arrive at a shared and agreed understanding and acceptance of both sides' views. Now, are you wondering how do we listen? Here are some steps. Begin by listening carefully to the main idea so that you can identify the subject. Listen for keywords to help you remember details. You might want to take down important notes. If you are listening to a narration or description, visualize the details. On the other hand, if you are listening to exposition, it will be helpful if you understand the order behind the arrangement of the detailed sentences. One way to remember the important details in the text you are listening is to pay attention to the discourse markers. Discourse markers are words or phrases whose function is to organize discourse or speech into segments. These are some discourse markers emphasizing important ideas. Above all, indeed, importantly, significantly, especially, always remember, in particular, notably or take note, and bear in mind. Number 3, think about what you are listening to. Sorting out or arranging the main ideas in your mind helps you identify the points to remember. First, try to jot down the main points, then go over the speech from beginning to end. Finally, recall the details. Now, how are we going to determine the worth of an idea? To determine the value of an idea, we should look at number 1, how rare it is, and number 2, how worth keeping it is. Be guided by the following questions every time you look for worthy ideas of the text you listen to. Number 1, what is the topic of the listening text? What is the important idea presented in the text? Number 3, how is the idea being presented? Explicitly or clearly stated or implied or hidden? Number 4, what helped you determine the worthy ideas presented? By discourse markers that emphasize a point or by the tone of speaker's voice? And number 5, is the idea presented worth keeping and worth sharing to others? Why? Now, we have the benefits of listening. Listening should not be taken for granted. Before the invention of writing, people conveyed virtually all knowledge through some combination of showing and telling. The first benefit of listening is you will become a better student. The second one, you will become a better friend. Number 3, people will find you as intelligent and perceptive. Number 4, it can help you improve your public speaking abilities. Now that we're done, let's try this activity.
Okay, so let us check your tasks in your Module 3. First task, you are asked to complete the crossword puzzle using the definitions inside the box as your clue. First word, going down, begins with the letter D. It is a word that describes item by item. Give the full particulars of. That's correct. Details. Next, number 2. It is the subject of a discourse or of a select section of a discourse. Begins with the letter T. That is, the subject is known as the topic. Good job. Next, number 3, a list of collection of words or of words and phrases usually alphabetically arranged and explained or defined. starts with the letter V, a collection of words. Yes, that's vocabulary. Next, number 4, starts with the letter I. The communication or reception of knowledge or intelligence. That is information. Next, number 5. What is a word that is also synonymous with a formulated thought or opinion? Starts with the letter I also. Yes, formulated thought or opinion is an idea. Good job. Next activity, you are asked to read this selection entitled Advantages and Disadvantages of Computer Games. After reading, you are asked to draw a table in your English notebook and identify the main idea and give at least 4 supporting details from this paragraph. Na? So, as we read this paragraph, let's try to underline important details from the selection. Okay, so let's begin. Computer games are addictive. Addictive meaning it is of a substance or of an activity, no? Causing or likely to cause someone to become addicted, which means having an addiction. No? So in this case, we're talking about computer games. Meaning a person has no control over his or her action. There is a chronic dysfunction of the brain system or brain disorder characterized by compulsive engagement with computer games. Na? So computer games are addictive. That is the main reason children play them for hours or on end. There are several disadvantages of spending a lot of time in front of the computer. So paragraph 1 basically describes what is computer game addiction is. Na? So it is the children playing for hours without stoppage. Na? So the next paragraph most likely discusses the disadvantages. Na? So let's read. Now, computer games merely provide entertainment. That's the main purpose of computer game. It provides entertainment. Children who are addicted to computer games tend to have poor grades because they do not get enough time to focus on their studies. Na? So they tend to have poor grades. So this time it's a disadvantage. Na? Also, they have reduced social skills. They are constantly glued to their screens and show hardly any interest in interacting with their family members or peers. This can lead to social isolation and serious behavioral problem. Okay. Now, some popular computer games glorify violence and crime. Children who grow up playing these games may get into antisocial activities. Even if they don't become criminals in the future, they may still exhibit a disregard for values. Computer games also cause vision problem in children. They are not supposed to stare at the computer screen for hours on end, and if they do, they will develop serious eye strain, which may also affect their studies. Now, on the bright side, so this time, the advantages of computer games. Now, on the bright side, computer games make children competitive, which means that they love games or they love to compete with other people. Na? Games that require them to play against virtual or real opponents living in another part of the world improve their concentration and ability to make decisions quickly. Na? These are definitely positive aspects, but a child does not have to play computer games to develop these skills, which means that we can still improve our concentration, ability to make decision quickly, be competitive, even without developing or even without being addicted to computer games or even without computer games. Na? So to conclude, after analyzing the advantages and disadvantages of playing computer games, it is not hard to see, hindi mahirap makita, no? That the disadvantages outweigh the advantages. So mas marami pa rin ang disadvantage compared with the advantages. Therefore, in the opinion of the writer, parents should restrict the amount of time their children spend in front of computers. That said, there is no harm, wala namang masama, no, in playing a game or two every now and then, but addiction is definitely a problem. Okay, so with this paragraph or with this selection, what is the main idea? Na? So let's talk about the topic. So what are we talking about? We're talking about computer games. And what is the main idea of this text regarding computer games? Yes, that there is what we call a computer game addiction, or computer games are addictive, no? Whether we are young or adult, there is a possibility that we can be addicted to computer games, no? Now, so what are the details on this paragraph regarding this main idea, no? So first paragraph, again, it describes what a computer game is and then discusses the disadvantage and advantage, and then the conclusion and the last paragraph, no? So, again, in identifying details, we answer in complete sentence also. No? So, we can say that computer games are addictive. It has its advantage and disadvantage. No? Advantages such as it can improve concentration and ability to make decision quickly. It can make children competitive, but the disadvantages outweighs mas marami, no? It outweighs the advantages, no? Therefore, parents should restrict the amount of time their children spend in front of computer. There is no harm in playing, but addiction is definitely a problem. No? So again, you are asked to give at least 4 supporting details about the main idea. You are asked to send a photo of your outputs in the messenger. For your application activity, you are asked to read aloud this paragraph, and you are asked to look for the main idea of each paragraph. So, read each paragraph and identify the idea or main idea of each paragraph. No? So, let's read the selection or the story. Anthony's teacher, so Anthony has a teacher and his name is Mr. Rivera. Mr. Rivera gave the class of Anthony a different kind of homework assignment, na? Kakaibang assignment. And what was the assignment? The assignment was to watch the weather report. So they are asked to watch a weather report on television every night for a week. So for the whole week, they will be watching every night the weather report. Mr. Rivera told the students some things to listen to as they watch each night's report. He also asked them to he also gave them a worksheet to fill out while they watch. Okay, so what is the main idea of the first paragraph? So later on, you're going to answer that. Let's first continue the story. Now, Mr. Rivera said to look at the large weather map that they would see behind the weather reporter. So they will watch a weather report, and at the back of the weather reporter, there is a weather map. He told them that they might see on the weather map a large blue line or large red line on the map. There might be blue line and a red line. He said that a blue line is a high pressure area that usually brings dry weather. So the blue means dry weather. And the red line is a low pressure area that usually brings wet weather. So wet weather, red line, low pressure. When the blue and red line meet, pag nagsabay, there usually is a stormy weather on that day. So on the worksheet, there was a box to fill in. So there's a worksheet that was given to them also, right? There is a box to fill in with the expected high temperature for the next day. There were other boxes to check also if there is unexpected rain, it will be cloudy, or if it is going to be windy. Now, Anthony watched the weather report and filled in the worksheet each night for the whole week. He noticed that the next day was usually a lot like what the reporter said it would be. So, most likely, nagiging tama nga yung weather report. So, one day's weather map showed a blue line right next to a red line. And what happened? The next day, there was a rainstorm. So, Anthony decided that he liked, so nagustuhan niya yung activity nila, He liked this kind of homework assignment. Okay, so let's go back first with the first paragraph in here. What is the main idea of the first paragraph? A. Anthony's teacher is Mr. Rivera. Is that what is only talked about in that paragraph? B. Anthony's homework was to watch the weather report for a week. Or C. Anthony likes to watch the weather report on television. Again, the main idea of the first paragraph only. Correct answer is yes, letter B. Anthony was given a homework. His teacher gave him a homework, and that is to watch a weather report for the whole week. Now, second paragraph. So we are now here in the second paragraph. Now, what is the main idea of the second paragraph? A. Mr. Rivera told the students what to watch for on the weather report. So what is to watch for? They are asked to watch for the weather map, the red line and blue line. Letter B, Mr. Rivera said the blue line usually brings dry weather. Or letter C, Mr. Rivera said to look at the weather map behind the reporter. What is the main idea or the most essential idea on the paragraph number 2? Yes, letter C, Mr. Rivera said to look at the weather map behind the reporter. Next, let's proceed with paragraph number 3. So this one is paragraph number 3. Na? What is the main idea of paragraph number 3? A, the worksheet had a box to fill in with the expected high temperature for the next day. B, the worksheet had a box to check if it was going to rain. Or C, Mr. Rivera gave the student a worksheet to fill in. Okay, so letter C, Mr. Rivera gave the students a worksheet to fill in. So the worksheet, so they are going to fill in what is the expected weather for the day. And last one, let's proceed with the last paragraph. So what is the main idea of the fourth paragraph? Letter A, Anthony liked the homework assignment. B, one day after Anthony watched the report, there was a rainstorm. Is that the main idea? Or in letter C, Anthony noticed that the weather report was usually right. What is the most essential idea in paragraph number 4? Yes, the answer is letter A. Anthony liked the homework assignment. So he realized that he liked that assignment. Now let's proceed with activity number 5. So this one, you are asked to write the number 1 to 4 in the boxes beside the events to show the sequence of what happened from first to last paragraph. So what happened in the first, second, third, and fourth, So which one here comes first? Okay, Mr. Rivera gave the students a worksheet to fill in. Second, and the homework was to watch the weather report. Mr. Rivera told the student what to watch for on the weather report, and that is the large map. It has a blue line and a red line. At the end of the activity, what did Anthony realize? Anthony noticed that the weather report was usually right. Okay, so by identifying the main idea of paragraphs, now we could be able to easily summarize or sequence events that happened from first to last. And last activity in here, you are asked to give what do you think would be a good title for this whole story. For your evaluation, you have 2 parts. Part 1, you are asked to identify whether the statement is true or false. Statement number 1, the main idea of a paragraph is the author's message about the topic. Exactly, that is true. Next, number 2, main ideas are always found at the beginning of the paragraph. False. Now, main ideas can be found at the beginning or at the end of the paragraph. If it is found at the beginning, it is used as an introduction. And if it is found at the end, then it is used as a conclusion. Number 3, a paragraph contains facts, statements, examples, specifics which guide us to full understanding of the main idea. True. Number 4, they clarify, illuminate, explain, describe, expand, and illustrate the main idea and are supporting details. True. To find the topic of a selection, ask a simple question. And what is that question? Where is the selection about? Is it true or false? False. To find the topic of a selection, what do we ask? We ask, what is the selection about? Tungkol saan ang pinag-uusapan? Ano ang pinag-uusapan? What is the selection about? What is the subject or what is the topic of the selection? Now let's proceed with part 2. In part 2, you are asked to read and analyze the given paragraphs, then identify the main idea. Let's proceed with paragraph number 6. Okay, as we read, let's underline the important details of the paragraph so that it will be easy for us also to identify the most essential idea of the paragraph. As important as water conservation is, so what is the idea in here? We're talking about water conservation. That's the topic. Now, it says in here that water conservation is important and it is also very easy. Ibig sabihin, importante siya at madali lang din ang pagko-conserve ng water. As a few simple habits can significantly reduce the water consumption of a household. One way to save water is to turn off the faucet when brushing your teeth. Huwag hayaan na tuloy-tuloy ang pagtulo ng tubig. Gumamit din tayo ng baso. Also, don't allow faucets to drip. One drip can waste a large amount of water over a short period of time. Baths require less water than showers. So, mas maganda pag naliligo, we try to avoid using shower. Instead, we use tabo, di ba? Mga Pilipino nagtatabo, We take a bath instead of shower, In doing so, you can reduce the amount of water your home uses. Now, in the kitchen, running a dishwasher. Sino yung mga may dishwasher sa bahay ninyo? This is a machine that is used to wash dishes. Now, it says in here that when it is completely full, so use it only when it is completely full rather than half full. And when doing so, it can save up to 20 gallons a day. So, this simple changes will save water and save money. Circle the main idea of the paragraph. Okay, so what is the main idea of this paragraph? Letter A, a few simple changes can save water in the home. B, water conservation is important. C, baths take less water than shower. Or D, consumers can save money by conserving water. All of these ideas are correct, but which one is the most essential or most important idea given in the paragraph? Yes, the correct answer is letter A. A few simple changes that we do can save water in the home. Paragraph number 7. One of the most popular musical instrument is the piano. So this time around, we're talking about the popular instrument, which is the piano. Do you have a piano at home? Do you know how to play piano? Now, in the traditional musical instrument classification system, so classification system of instruments, so there are 4 classifications: string, woodwind, percussion, and brass. The piano falls into 2 categories. So, ibig sabihin, dalawang uri or system meron ng piano. And that is what? It is considered as a string instrument because the sounds comes from string inside the piano. So inside the piano, there are strings, and when you tick the piano key, the string at the back or inside moves. That's why it creates music. It is also considered as a percussion instrument since the player strikes the keyboard, right? Which signals an internal hammer to strike the strings. Okay, so what is the main idea of paragraph number 7? A, the piano is a popular instrument. B, the strings of a piano makes the sound. C, piano is both a string and a percussion instrument. Or D, the piano is a string instrument. The answer is letter C. The piano is both a string and percussion instrument. Paragraph number 8. Irish immigration of the US. Okay, so the Irish migrates to United States. Na? Irish immigration to the US began during the early development of the American colonies. Now, it is estimated that 200,000 Irish came to the US in the 17th and 18th century. So from this period of time, they've already started migrating to the United States. The numbers swelled. So dumadami pa, no? From 1820 to 1850 to almost 2 million Irish immigrants. Na? Most of these were fleeing the tomato famine. So merong taggutom kasi sa kanilang bansa or lugar, no? From 1845 to 1852. Steady numbers continued to arrive during the late 19th and 20th centuries. Today, over 36 million Americans claim some level of Irish ancestry. Now, in this paragraph number 8, what is the topic or the main idea na? Letter A, the Irish is still coming to the United States. B, the Irish came in large numbers to the US. C, the potato famine caused many Irish to immigrate to the US. Or D, the US is a country of immigrants. Okay, I forget our underlines there. Okay, our supporting details. Na? Okay, so what is the main idea? The main idea is... Okay, letter C. The potato famine caused many Irish to immigrate to the US. Okay, now let's proceed with paragraph number 9. Education is the backbone. Backbone. Now, same as human being, we have a backbone. And what does a human being backbone do? It helps us to move. It helps us to stand. No? Same also in the country. No? It has a backbone, and that is the education. Education is the backbone. It helps the country stand. It helps the country move. Without the backbone, without education, country doesn't have a backbone. No? It is an integral tool. Integral meaning important. No? Tool that aids the development of human civilization. If there is no education, there is no development. Education equips the nation with workforce, uplifts awareness among the general public, and promotes national unity. Na? So without education, it is hard to unite. Na? So a life without education is valueless or meaningless. Education develops a person's sense of articulation and respect in their vocabulary. So, with this paragraph, what is the main idea? A. Education is the integral tool. B. Education equips the nation. C. Education develops a person's sense of articulation. Or D. Education is the backbone of a country. Which one is the most essential idea of this paragraph? The correct answer is letter D. Education is the backbone of the country. It is used as an introduction of the paragraph. Last one, paragraph number 10, technology. We're talking about technology. What about technology? Technology is the most useful form of science. No? So one way to see development of science is through technology, and it is used by the general population. In simple words, technology is when we take the concepts of science and transform them into gadgets and devices, which means that technology is the application of science that are useful to us as human beings. When we look around us, almost everything is a form or result of or a form of technology. In paragraph number 10, what is our main idea? Letter A, technology is the application of science to create things useful to people. B, gadgets and devices are useful to human beings. C, technology is useful for population. Or D, look around us. You will see signs. Correct answer is yes, letter A. Technology is the application of science to create things useful to people. So that's it. Those are your activities under fourth quarter, module 3. Determine the work of text ideas mentioned in the text. Listen to. Again, all your tasks you are asked to answer in your English notebook, and you are asked to send the photo of your output in the messenger.
Now let's proceed to Quarter 4, Module 4.
Quarter 4, Module 4 is about determine the truthfulness and accuracy of material viewed. Truthfulness is based on fact and evidence. While accuracy means the quality or state of being correct or precise. So we're going to study about that one. After going through this module, you are expected to get the correct information and details from the material viewed, be informed by fake news, and know what is happening to the real world. Consider the content and purpose of the material viewed, and apply truthfulness and accuracy in analyzing the material viewed. For your pre-assessment, you have two parts. Part 1, you are asked to tell whether the statement or content of each material is stating truthfulness and accuracy. You're asked to put a check mark if yes and cross mark if not. No? So there are 5 items in this answer in your English notebook. For part 2, you are asked to read and determine whether the statement is true or false. Write T if the statement is true and F if it is false. Now, let's discuss how to determine the truthfulness and accuracy of the material viewed. Does your favorite celebrity really know what she's talking about? Is the politician you trust the most is really telling the truth? Is the non-fiction book or article by your favorite author really accurate and factual? What do you know about the person who wrote that forwarded message you received in your email? Do you even know that person's name? Here is a help in determining the answers to those questions. Most of us have learned that anyone can write anything in a book or on the internet. However, just because something is in print in any form does not make it accurate and factual. Just because you heard it on the television or radio does not make it true. Just because something was stated persuasively or convincingly by your favorite politician, actor, singer, author, or best friend does not make it a fact. The only people who will be impressed with your misinformed opinions, whether written or spoken, will be people as uninformed as you are. So, take time to be accurate as possible and to get the facts. Okay, let's recall. While viewing news, video clips, trailers, Facebook posts, or YouTube materials, do you have an idea on how to determine their truthfulness and accuracy? Let's discuss the 7 types of information disorders. Information disorder number 1, fabricated content. New content is 100% false. It is designed to deceive and do harm. Example, this blog site published an article saying paalam to Queen of all media, Chris Aquino. It can be noticed that the last name was misspelled. However, the photo of the social media influencer was featured there, and it also has her name in red colored font. And with the year 1971 to 2018 and the word paalam. Whoever did this is obviously just misleading people, especially those who are frequently using the internet. False content that spawns out of thin air can be portrayed in a way that seems believable. Possible na maniwala tayo, na if a person don't check the source. A good way to stay up to date on false news website is to check out the junk news archive by Snowpeck. So we have to check the source. The second information disorder is called impostor content. It is when genuine sources are imported. Okay. Example, this impostor website, so this one is the website, with URL mimicking the UK-based publication The Times, posted March 4 as a fake report claiming American Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson praised Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte for supposedly inspiring him, tweaking the domain name of a news outfit in case, using the URL the tlmes.com to spoof the legitimate The Times URL, which is the times.co.uk. It is common trick used by fake news site creator to deceive online users, na. Some sites try to trick the readers by masquerading as credible source. Spot imposter content by running a separate Google. So open another Google link, search of the news outlet's name. If this comes up with a news site with a different URL, like this one, seeing double can be a sign of trouble. It's important that readers to check constantly their sources to make sure they're not getting tricked by a copycat site such as this one, no? Imposter website. Third is misleading content. Misleading use of information to frame an issue or individual. Example, from Rappler.com in February 2020, claiming President Rodrigo Duterte enjoys 98% of Filipino trust following the closure of ABS-CBN. The graphic card posted last February 11, the Facebook page Blessed Be Philippines included supposed survey ratings before and after closure of ABS-CBN. Now, misleading content is a type of misinformation wherein it misleads its reader by misusing information to frame topics or people in calculated ways. So, pinag-aaralan nila kung paano talaga sila makapanloko, no? Cropping pictures, choosing quotes, statistics to further an agenda or manipulating choosing quotes or statistics to further on an agenda or manipulating videos to alter context as example of misleading content, no? So what do we do? Look over the material, identify the source, take long term to recognize whether it is fake. Number 4 information disorder is called satire parody. Satire parody has are meant to be outrageous, nakakatawa, no? People laugh at the content because of its unbelievability. So, you know that it is not true, no? So, there is no intention to cause harm, but it has still a potential to fool, no? Example, this site, no? So what's new, saying Duterte to ban posting of spoilers on social media. So for example, you become a spoiler and you will be banned in social media, no? So this one is an example of a satire parody. We were taught in poetry class that satire is the hardest to pull off, yet the most effective if done well. Satire or pang-uuyam in Filipino or pang-iinis, no, is the use of humor to show that someone or something is foolish, weak, or bad. It often ridicules a person government, or society by way of subtle and funny lines. Being the subject of good satire is like being the loser in high school. You have no idea that you're already the butt of the joke. Satirical pieces are commentaries only, no, that should be taken seriously, but they point out national issues that we should be concerned about, but not too serious that you believe what they say literally. Okay, the juxtaposition of the image of the headline. Okay, let's proceed with the next one. Number 5, false content. It is when headlines, okay, eye-catching headlines such as this one. Oh, yan, this one. Eye-catching headlines, visuals, and captions that draw readers in but does not match the content within the story. No? So, one of the reasons the term fake news is so unhelpful is because genuine content is often seen being recirculated out of its original context. No? For example, this image from Vietnam captured in 2007 recirculated after 7 years, ginamit siya ulit, no? It was shared under the guise that it was a photograph from Nepal in the aftermath of earthquake in 2015. The juxtaposition of the image to the headline create a false connection that is very misleading to the reader, no? So when you see it, that photo, there is most likely that you will get an interest in reading the article where in fact it doesn't have a connection with the photo or with the visual. No? So that's why false content. Information disorder number 6 is false content. No? Context this time. When genuine content is shared with false contextual information. So the information is false. No? Example, this blog being done by Mocha Yuson, no, it was accused of spreading wrong information on Facebook that involves DSW, the relief good packaging, comparing the relief good packaging system before and after. No? Comparing the relief good packaging system. This one was taken during the Typhoon Ruby in 2014 and after is taken 2015 of President Noynoy Aquino during the time of him as a president. No? Now, in his blog, he tried to feed his follower and tried to take the credit of the packaging system to Duterte. No? So, she said here, ganito bigyan ng importansya ng Duterte administration ang mga ordinaryong Pilipino. Whereas the photo were taken in 2015, no? Which is during the time of Noynoy Aquino. No? So, false context. The image itself was real. It was real, no? But it was being used in the wrong context. Next one, number 7, is manipulated content. So, yung content naman ang manipulated. When genuine information or imagery is manipulated to deceive. Example, this photo of U.S. Marines. So, these are U.S. Marines from the 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit help an Iraqi soldier with water from a canteen in southern Iraq in March 21, 2023. No? So, some newspapers only use this part. No? This is what really happened. No? So, the Americans are trying to help, no, but one of the American was pointing a gun, no? And these are what other people saw also. Some newspapers use this part only, no? Okay, manipulated content is when photo is twisted to fit a political agenda, whichever agenda the government has, no? Okay, so let's explore. How do you know if an information is accurate? How to evaluate information sources? Okay, everyone has an agenda. Remember about that one. Knowing where an author is coming from is important in judging what they have to say. Very often, reporters state the facts accurately, but then state them in a way that seems positive or negative, depending on how they want their readers or listeners to feel about those facts. Sometimes their statements are factual as far as they go, but a few little things or big things that would make a difference in how the information is received are simply left out. What is provided is factual, but what is left out can make a world of difference in what has actually been said, written, or what actually happened. So what do we do? Getting information in context and getting all the information usually makes a huge difference. Second, credible sources. No, that is how we can evaluate or check if our information is accurate. Some information sources are more credible than others because they have been in business for a very long time and have established a strong reputation for accuracy and dependable facts. In general, universities and government agencies have a great deal of credibility. Information presented as facts by these institutions carries a lot of weight. Research and studies were done by these entities or commissioned by them is usually given more credibility than when done by private industry because presumably they do not have an interest in the outcome where the private industry does. Third, the entire purpose of some sources of information is to mislead, so you have to be careful. There are many sources of information whose purpose is to mislead and misinform. Their main purpose is to persuade you, para mapaniwala ka, to their way of thinking just because they believe they are right and everyone else is wrong. Sometimes they stand to gain financially or to obtain power if they can persuade enough people to see things their way. And sometimes they simply believe that their way is the only right way. Sometimes it is an advocate for a particular social issue who wants to influence your opinion on things like the environment, abortion, the legal drinking age, prayer in school, or any number of different issues that will affect millions of people. Fourth, way to check your source. Do not be fooled. Always verify the accuracy of your information. In every case, you should verify that the information someone is giving you is accurate and factual. Na? In every case, you need to determine what is fact and what is opinion. Sometimes the information presented will be extremely incorrect and misleading, especially where politics or products are concerned. Do not be fooled into believing that a statement or common belief is accurate just because a lot of people believe it or accept it as truth. Again, what do? Verify the statement or belief. It takes only seconds in many cases. Na? And number 5, know the difference between fact and opinion. Baka naman opinion lang yan, no? Never assume or never believe things at once without proof. It is important to know facts from opinion. If you are not sure, it takes only a minute, often just seconds, to verify whether or not the statement is a fact. Opinions cannot be verified because they are not facts. Na? So if there is no supporting detail or supporting facts or documents, then it is most likely just an opinion. So what do? Research the person who is making the statement, learn who she or he is and what their agenda has been previously. Does any respected source list them as a credible authority or expert on the subject they are commenting or promoting? Do not assume anything. Never assume that because someone is well known that they are being factual. Do not assume that someone who is not considered a well-known expert or authority in a particular area is not informed. Take few seconds or minutes to research the facts, okay? Research the facts. That's the most important. Let's elaborate. It is important to evaluate the sources of information you are for references, whether for purpose of using them for your assignment, an exchange of ideas with a friend, or information you are using to base your perspective as a student on a particular issue or event. Answer the following in your English notebook based on your learnings in our discussion today. spot false news. Sick and tired of seeing misinformation, never know of or who or what to trust, can't figure out if what you've heard is true. Now, here are a few tips to spot misinformation or fake news. First, consider the source. Click away from the story to investigate the site, its mission, and its contact information. Second, read beyond. Headlines can be outrageous in an effort to get clicks. What's the whole story? So you read the whole story, not just the headline. Check the author. Do a quick search on the author. Are they credible? Are they real? Supporting sources. Click on the links. Determine if the information given actually supports the story. Check the date. Reposting old news story doesn't mean they're relevant to current events. Is it a joke? If it is too outlandish, it might be just satire, no? So research the site and author to be sure if it is just a joke. Check for biases. Consider if your own belief could affect your judgment. And lastly, ask the expert. Ask a librarian or consult a fact-checking site to get information from independent people with knowledge. Now that you have learned about prevention tips on how to spot fake news, think and respond to the following questions. Answer the following in your English notebook based on your learnings. For your recap task, you have two parts. Part 1 or Activity 1, complete each statement based on what you have learned in this module. Activity 2, you are to look for the right sources. List down at least 5 accurate reference sources for the following topics. Make sure that they are valid and reliable. So these are the topic, IATF Guideline on MECQ 2021 and Distance Learning in New Normal Education. So with these two topics, give 5 accurate references or sources. For your evaluation, you are asked to read the article entitled Community Pantry, the Value of Sharing. Answer the 2 given activities. Task 1 for 1 to 5 based on the article you have read. Write A if you have found the statement accurate and NA if not. Answer only in your English notebook. Activity 2 for 6 to 10. Encircle the letter of the correct answer. Again, write the letter only in your English notebook. For more information, please visit the following references or links. These are used in your Module 4. So that's it. Those are your activities under 4th quarter Module 4. Again, all tasks you are to answer in your English notebook and you are to send a photo of your outputs in Messenger. Thank you so much for attending our 4th quarter week 4 online learning. God bless you all. Stay safe. Be blessed. Goodbye, everyone.